Hi all! I have made 15 games over the last 2 years so far, using Unity. My progress has been slow but constant, learning new things with tutorials, by intuition or with luck. In 2021 I started to work on my first game, which needed like 3 months of development because my code was barely understandable. After that, I decided to make a 3D game about a ball, inspired by games like Venezuela Political Fighting or Tiger Ball. Then, in summer, I joined a game jam for the first time. The game went really well and I made an AI for the stupid fly. I also made a gravity simulation in which I simulate gravity using physics, and then I simulated water and made a puzzle game with that. In December, I developed another platformer, but this time you depend on the color. This game was speedrunned by some people and I learned about stealing code from other developers. At the end of the year, I joined another game jam in which I ended up with a cute little game where a slime destroys
all living things to survive out in nature,
like in a McDonald's at 10 PM. Now, in early 2022, I completed a prototype I had of a marble race, and right after that, I joined the Bragis Game Jam and made a Metroidvania from scratch. I love developing this game, and for the only time in my entire history, I think I made music comparable to what Beethoven did, only that I'm not deaf. During the next couple of months, I continued making Local Island, the best game I have made for the moment in terms of gameplay. This game was really difficult to finish due to the endless line of code that barely were understandable, since I started this game at the same time as I started the gravity simulation. In summer, I joined another jam, in which my PC decided that it wouldn't work, so I only had like 6 hours to develop the game. After that, I made a volleyball game with slimes, to experience a bit with multiplayer and a huge amount of arrays. The next thing I did wasn't an actual game, but instead it was the addition of achievements and leaderboards to my Play Store games. This resulted in me following tutorials that didn't work in my version of Unity, making me think about the flowers and the animals, or maybe in destroying the Unity engine with multiple bombs. During the rest of the summer, I made some prototypes of a snake, a pendulum and more shit I don't remember. And I joined again the Bragis Game Jam. The art for this game felt quite nice when all combined into the scene. It was as good as when you steal something in class multiple times, ending up with lots of pencils and shit from others and gaining the status of going to class without having to buy a new pen for ages. The Fishy's AI was working as expected, and all the enemies worked more or less fine. After that game jam, I joined another one hosted by Bargam. It was an experiment in which some developers develop games with their developing engines with a given theme to develop a game within 2 of them. Really cool experience that created the first and probably last strategy game made by me and by my friend Me, who is a really close friend of mine. After those game jams, I started developing my dream game, and eventually, you know what is next, right? I joined the last jam of the year, the Advent of Games. 25 developers are making a game for each day of Christmas. Due to my lack of time, I dedicated like 10 minutes a day to the fucking 3D game to finally finish it and rest in peace. This 3D shooter was my latest experience with shadows, lights, Z-axis, your mom and cameras with complex settings. Actually, the camera of the game works like a shampoo made out of pancreas. And well, that were pretty much all the games and things I have made during the last 2 years with Unity. Leave a like and don't forget to keep playing little games.